Okay.
Yeah.
Since we only have a little over an hour, this is going to be a a deliberately short session, and also because Finchen isn't here.
Mhm.
We're going, in the interest of that, and since it was over a week ago, I'll briefly recap what happened last time. We are in, well, not in the middle world. We are in the God's Age, the Storm Age. And specifically, our heroes are experiencing a hero quest that they don't know the story of, so they just have to wing it. They've adopted different divine personages, and they are dealing with the invasion of the horde of Decero, the son of Orlanth, when the storm people came down the spike and invaded Pamaltella from the north. Last time, after working out, well, who you all were and what you were doing, since you were just sort of plunged into this, you laid plans to fortify the Art Mali, to provide a way for the non-combatants to flee to Mernita for safety, and then you launched a surprise attack to ambush and kill several of the chieftains of the Storm Horde, while a loon, or a Selene rather, an elemental of the Blue Moon, sent out by Potov/Queen Cerulia, and inhabited mentally by Tara Bree, who is still in the middle world, at least physically. Well, you were able to successfully kill several storm chieftains, and the Selene was able to abscond with the red sword of the Art Mali Emperors. And then Slan and Afidasa discovered a malign spirit moving through the camps of the refugees. A spirit of the Disorder Rune, sowing discord between the different factions and peoples gathered to oppose the Storm invasion. Afidasa and the Mustali hunted it down and were able to force from it an explanation of what it was. That it had been sent from the kingdom of Oabil, a kingdom of the Vadeli, who are the ancient enemies of the Mustali, and generally really bad guys, wicked, immortal sorcerer types.
They're not sending their best.
Well, they're not sending their moral best, that's for sure.
And let me look in Stardo's gallery for just a second.
Yeah. Additionally, Tara Bree was inhabiting the Selene, and now she's purple because the sword she got the sword and it did something to her. Well, it did something to the Selene.
I thought she stopped being purple as soon as she produced the sword out of herself.
Nah, it stuck.
Out of its stuff.
I edited the video a couple days ago. She stayed purple.
Oh, okay then.
Yes, I just posted a link in the game thread to a picture of God Time Pamaltella, Storm Age Pamaltella. You are at Vardavanad on the coast of the Efto Sea. The Storm Tribe, the Storm Invasion is to the north. If you look somewhat to the east, on the coast, there is Oabil, the place the Discord spirit allegedly came from.
Yep.
Now,
Isn't it the west?
you're right, the west, sorry.
Okay. I was like, I'm looking to the right, and I'm like, wait.
Yeah.
East.
So, let's begin with the first, most immediate thing. Those who set out on the ambush return. After Slan's Mostali, after the Discord spirit is released on the condition that it go bedevil the Storm Tribe rather than the Artmali and their friends
the
anymore.
specific wording was the Storm Tribe that is not on our side, because Surma didn't want them, or I didn't think it would be wise to word it in a way that they would harass Ravina. Not that Surma was there.
Yeah.
But yes.
I think we found some sort of wording with the army that opposes us or something like that.
And, those who participated in the ambush returned to the camp to much rejoicing from the Artmali, the elves, and the Pujaleg people who were waiting to see what happened. But that is nothing compared to the reception when the Selene briefly appears, colored purple rather than blue, and gently lays the red sword of the Emperors on the ground of the cleared council space in the Artmali camp that you all occupied in the previous session.
Well, I'd like to take it and specifically give it to Gabar Yanga, his character, but yeah.
Gabar Yanga is portraying Prince Jarkaru of the Artmali. And, yes, Potav / Cerulia, how do you want to do that? This is a great artifact of great importance. How do you want to hand it over?
I'm going to use Ori. I'm going to say, let me pull up my character sheet. Can I augment with fire, because this is a fire weapon?
Yeah, it's a sky thing.
Okay. I'm going to say, Prince, I present to you my uncle's sword that he used to conquer Dargini. Slay Umath.
Before you continue, Potav, give me an int times 5 roll.
Yeah, you might want to remember this stuff, yeah? Yeah, T-Conqueror.
Okay. The Sword of the Emperors, the way you've had it described, is that it is not exactly the same sword as the Red Sword of Tolat. That Tolat gave the offspring of his sword to Artmal, and then Artmal gave the offspring of his sword to Yitai, the first Artmali emperor.
Okay,
the Sword of the Emperors.
I don't personally know any deeds that this sword has performed then, but I'm going to mention that it's the son of this cool sword.
Yeah, you can make it a lineage. Yeah, it's a lineage. Frame it in that way.
Still declaiming it.
Yeah, Potav's
and all
good
the
at
deeds
that.
all the cool deeds that I'm aware of.
Yeah, Potav's good at listing off lengthy lineages. He's got this.
And that was one of his very first rolls in first session.
It was actually his very, very first roll.
And I think he critted it or something.
Crit.
Okay, a crit. All right. Oh, okay.
A grandson of death.
That is.
This rules. Nano, you're
probably
so
slain some Storm Brothers.
Okay. Potav.
Can we make this a public act in which the Orlanthi are witnessing from removed?
The Orlanthi were prepared to counterattack, so maybe a couple of them see it. Yeah?
Well, I'll get to what's going on with the Orlanthe in a moment, but it's a crit. If you want them to be witnesses to this, Potav, they will be. Let
Sure.
me put it that way.
Yes, I do.
Okay, then they will be aware of what transpires as a result of this. So, as Queen Cerulia presents the sword to Jarkaru, who listens patiently and honestly quite reverently as she lists the deeds of its forebear blades. Potav, you find that as you progress, as you run out of deeds that you personally remember the red sword of Tolat / Shargash accomplishing,
/ Jack Recreant.
/ Vorthon, if you go far enough west, yes. You find yourself just continuing, even when you run out of things you remember personally. You are able to just sort of unfold the deeds of the sword of Artmal, the child of the sword of Tolat, in his adventures across the world and his travels across Pamaltella and his founding of his people's society here. And you're able to tell the stories of the child of that sword, Yitai, the one you're actually holding, of the deeds Yitai did in the invasion of the Qualyorni, which is not a term you've ever heard before, but you understand as you say it to mean trolls.
I hope it hasn't killed too many Durati. Those guys are cool.
It had. One of the things you close with is that it is one of the symbols of the Artmali's rightful place in Pamaltella, agreed to and ceded to them by Pamalt. And no, it has not been used to shed the blood of the Durati, who are the Artmali's neighbors, though not always necessarily their friends.
It has won an old man's war with them, though, by insulting them. The sword.
That sounds cool.
Yes, the sword can sing, and occasionally it can riff.
Hell yeah.
And does Potav carry a sword?
No, he carries a sphere.
The
Okay.
only person here who might carry a sword is Ravina of our core group.
When you hand over the red sword, Gabrianga receives it and stands holding it by the hilt with one hand and supporting the blade with the other, and turns to face the storm clouds of the south that show Orlant strangling Artmal. And he begins to sing a song of thanks and mourning to Artmal and to his family for returning this, for helping them regain this artifact of his. As he sings, the other Artmali begin to join in harmony. And as they sing, surrounding the camp, very briefly, the blue moon is high above the shoulder of the spike, and in its light, you can see the ghosts of many, many more Artmali. Those who died in the first onset of the invasion, and those who've passed away since they came to Earth, appearing as though they'd always been there around the camp, and adding their soundless voices to the harmony.
Nice.
As you watch him, Gabaryanga / Jarkaru, his form is overlaid in rapid succession by the images or impressions of others, of the first emperor, Yitai, and his successors. There have not been many. The images flit between, the overlays flit between them. Art Molly of different builds, different features, but all the same shade of blue, and all having some undefinable core resemblance to Gabaryanga. And when the overlays are gone, he seems changed. Though not in any obvious physical sense. The aura around him, his presence has changed. As is the way the other Art Molly respond to him. Within the myth, Jarkaru has become the Blue Emperor.
Nice.
The Emperor of the Art Molly.
Nice. Very good.
He thanks you, Cerulia, again, on behalf of the line of the Emperors and of Artmal, our joint kin.
Can I get some reputation?
Not only that, you should get one charisma from this, according to the book.
Well, we'll see about that.
Yeah.
Not reputation, because this is happening in the god time, but roll a d3, Nano. 2. Okay. Add 2 to your cult lore.
Hell
Because
yeah.
you've just
learning shit this sword's done.
Mm-hmm. We're about to find out more
And-
things the sword has done, because it's about to do some stuff.
And I would say also add that 2 to your devotion, She Who Waits, because facilitating all this was very She Who Waits sort of stuff.
Absolutely.
And yeah, there will probably be more at the end, but you'll see what rewards you get when you get out of the hero
Yeah.
quest. That's usually how these work.
Yeah, doing cool stuff like this gets you one charisma. It's pretty cool.
No, we have to wait to see if we're successful.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Right.
The quest ain't over.
Yep.
Now that the sword has been handed over, there is also the ulterior motive of your ambush from last session.
Which is to get armed.
Every drop of blood shed in your attack on the Storm Tribe was offered in advance to Shargash in order to gain his favor, but he didn't dare to attempt to contact him until you had the sword in hand. But now it is. And so Sephara, the bride of Tolat, she adopts a ritual pose from the far off east, with her arms crooked and one leg raised to suspend her ankle before her knee, as a sort of salute to Gabaryanga, which she then turns as a salute to the red planet, which anyone with eyes can see in the sky. Shargash is very busy these days. And she says, the shedding of blood and the winning back of this weapon are the sorts of things that please my husband. But it will take time for me to prepare a proper greeting and welcome to him in this place.
I understand.
I will dance a dance under the red planet for him to attract his attention. And then we must show that we are willing to both shed more for him and to shed it in his way without reservation.
Yeah. I hope that he's Yamalio's uncle as well, right?
Yes,
My
that
hope-
is the relationship.
Yeah. My hope is that what I know, the role I made last, is that like Shargash doesn't think that Yamalio has what it takes to do this kind of stuff. So this approval, Yamalio hopes is showing his uncle that yes, he does. Like he can dish it out just as much as he can take it, and that I wanted to know, Safara, before you begin this, if it would insult him if these people decided they would rather make peace than deal with him, because if so, he's not going to be able to show up and murder a bunch of them.
If you choose to make peace, you must do so before we invoke my husband.
Yep, that's what I figured.
Once he is called, he will not stop.
Yep. I wanted to let you know my plan was to use the threat of bringing your husband here to see if maybe they'd be willing to reconsider even starting this. How do you feel about that, and how do you think your husband would feel about that?
I think that the threat becomes a reality when I complete my dance, which will take time.
Understood.
If you will make peace before I complete my dance.
You got it. Yep. They are on the time limit, and so are we.
Yes. Mechanically, Safara is using the ritual prep rules to boost a magical dance roll.
Yep.
So she's going to be taking... there's no set time in the god time, but she will be taking a period of time in which to perform the dance.
One final question before you begin this, which is my uncle, because I don't know if I know this, and if I do, then forget this, scrub this, but is Shargash reluctant to strike down his own kin? Is he a big fan of kin strife? Is he going to come after us, or will he fight alongside his kin?
My husband will fight whoever he can that the Emperor does not forbid him from fighting.
Oh gosh, can I roll to see if that includes us?
Cult lore, yeah.
Yep, okay, let me see then. Alright.
Can I roll as well, since I'm also...
Yeah.
Yes, same, yeah.
Augment with something? Or
Yeah, I'm augment-
Fire Sky,
Fire Sky,
or
things like
Truth
that,
would make sense. Devotion Yomalio would also make sense.
You could go send Banner Lavis a letter, see if he can get you some Shargash dispensation.
Oh, that was Fire Sky.
Oh, critical success. Oh, thank gosh.
Okay, well, you roll as well, Cacti, let's see what you get.
I'm too distracted, I'm not here.
Yeah, well, the issue is more that this is about the human understanding of Yelmalio, not the elf. The elves don't care much about the king list of Darahapa.
Yeah, that's fair.
Whereas the Sundomers actually kind of do, and they would have been the original sources for most of the Yelmalio cult lore among the Sables. So, let's see. Who would have been the Darahapan Emperor at this point?
Insert name here. Just you don't need to get it right. We can.
No,
edit it in.
there's definitely an answer.
Okay, not me.
We had the
Let's see.
Generong dynasty yet? No.
No, Generong is the Dawn.
Yeah. Cordavu didn't wander off and die at the Hill of Gold yet.
Yeah,
so-
Hill of Gold hasn't happened. I
Oh no, that was Monomat. I mean, yeah, you're probably around an Axial or one of his sons.
I don't think we're at an axial because I don't think the flood has overwhelmed Darahapa yet.
I think the getting it right is gonna take time. We can just edit it in.
It's not going to take that much.
Nah,
time.
the flood has happened because it happens when Yelm dies.
That's fair. Oh, yeah. Well, if that's the case, then my initial guess is probably the right one. The Emperor is Lucarius, son of an Axial, who has some. Well, he hasn't commanded the destruction of Myrnita yet, but that'll happen eventually.
That asshole hates women.
Yep, and he's the great conqueror.
No, that's Urvarinarius.
Oh yeah, you're right. He conquers with law, not armies.
I mean, a huge dick.
So,
but conquering with law.
Urvarinarius strung the first bow with his own umbilical cord, I think.
Mhm.
Yes, that is part of his thing. He was born on an Axial's ark, and as he was born, he used his own umbilical cord to arm himself to defend the ark from storm and ice things.
That's cool.
His as soon as he was brought out, this is part of the crit. As soon as Lucarius was born from his mother, who was named Heristana, while he was still wet with the amniotic fluid, he looked up and was held in her arms. He looked up at her and said in perfect Pelorian, "No fear yet."
Mm.
And then he strung his bow and went out to defend the ark, while just moments old.
And taught people fear. Sounds cool.
Yep, and he also invented the idea of writing down laws rather than just assuming the emperor could remember it all at all times.
Nice. Okay.
So, because you have a crit, well, because that was a crit, and because of the way I described how Yelmalio is present in this myth, that Yelmalio and Halmalayo are each present as reflections of the same god, reflected off different reflective objects. Well, within the god time, you and the single pale sun hanging over Darahapa are the same thing, the same entity, sort of. And that entity is, well, above Yelm's footstool in Darahapa. It is the son of the Storm Age. And so,
what?
The Emperor forbid.
how would, and so, Surma,
Mhm.
briefly, you are conscious of this simultaneity. You are both here in the camp of the Art Molly with the Art Molly ancestors hazy in the distance, but you are also the white sun above glorious Euthabars, a magnificent city of stone and gilt and enormous ziggurats in a land you've never seen before.
Gorgeous.
And you are able to communicate with the Emperor Lucarius, who is the embodiment of Yelm on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And this was all started by you wanting to know how to fine-tune Shargash's appearance. How do you want to communicate with Lucarius so that he uses his imperial authority to do that fine-tuning.
I guess.
A decree from the emperor holds true wherever the light of the sun touches.
I mean, I already have a crit. Am I going to need to roll again?
No.
Okay. Probably either
how do you-
through singing or orating. I will explain to him the situation as it unfolds. And I guess you want me to actually give words. My words are basically how I want Shargash to manifest, or how I would prefer Shargash manifest, is as somebody who still is willing to give the people that he is bound to by blood or through other covenants a chance, and not slay them, and the people they care about a chance. But if those people fuck up, then they get one chance to not screw him over, and if they do, then he strikes them down. This Shargash will give you one chance to fuck around before you find out. If you are beloved by people he has bonds to, like through blood or friendship or marriage.
At the summit of Yelm's Footstool, which is an enormous part tower, part ziggurat, far taller and skinnier than real-world ziggurats. The summit of it is open to the sky, and at that summit is the dragon throne of the Solar Emperors. And upon that throne sits an Axial with his sun bow resting against the arm of the throne, and the golden spear of the emperors in his right hand with its butt planted on the flagstone floor, the double crown of Darahapa on his head, and above that the orb of the eye, the magical glowing manifestation of Yelm's approval that shows that he is the emperor. A sun disk that hangs above the emperor's crown at all times, or at least his crowned head.
Mm-hmm.
And an Axial looks up from his courtiers gathered atop the footstool to the sun hanging high above Darahapa. And he hears your injunctions. And he looks with far-seeing eyes beyond the spike to where the Art Molly are struggling with the storm people. And he looks up to the red planet hanging above. And he and he says to the white sun, that if this is justice, he will see it done.
Thank you.
And he pronounces his command to the red planet high above in fire speech. It carries easily up to the heavens. And in the far distance, there is a sound of clattering bronze and thumping drums, but it stutters once in recognition before the war song resumes, as a sign that even though the world is changing, Shargash still heeds the command of the Emperor. And so yes, if Shargash is summoned, but the conditions are not otherwise ideal, it will take 2 fuck-ups before he turns on the Art Molly and just starts slaughtering them.
Perfect. And if they shoot at him, that's 2 fuck-ups. So if they even try to take him out, that's 2
He's pretty
fuck-ups.
hard to miss.
Yeah.
It'd be a very foolish thing to throw at.
Yeah. If they swing, they better not miss. I guess would be the best way to put it. Yes.
Can I direct Dianshu to just sort of chill near Afadasa, and if we reach an accord, stop her dancing by whatever means necessary?
You mean Safara?
Yeah,
Oh,
Safara,
yeah.
Yeah.
Safara.
Yes, he would honestly be very interested to watch how this dance is performed, and he'll speak up if we need to. You're in telepathic contact with him, so that can be done instantaneously.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, so there we go. So then Surma knows this, so she doesn't even need to ask this. So this lady can swing and dance. Now she needs to make sure that if we do have to summon Shargash doesn't kill Slan or Ravina, because Slan and Ravina aren't. Shargash has no association with them. So first, Surma has to seek out Ravina. Oh, and Terra Bree.
Technically, Ravina's his kin as well.
All right,
The
yeah, that's
Zara and
right.
Astangi are also children of the Blue Moon.
Did she fought well beside us when we went and did all those assassinations, right?
Yes,
How
she.
is-
Well, Go ahead.
What's her condition right now? Was she hurt at all?
no, you all got pretty good rolls on the ambush, and you prepared for it well. She and her Loper beast, because she is a Zaranastangi in this myth, Ganalada,
Mm-hmm.
came. They came through the ambush fine. She is just thankful that there were not. That it was only a camp of Desero's own people, not the Zaranastangi who've joined him. So she was not privy to any direct kin strife as a result of the ambush.
Okay. So, since she's fine, but still Surma will make sure she's okay. Speak to her very quickly. We don't need to play it out because Slan has no association with Shargash, and I do not want Slan murdered by Shargash if we have to bring Shargash into here. So.
Well, Slan, just for your edification, as far as the Mustali are concerned, Shargash is a necessary but unpleasant element of the world machine. Sometimes you do just need something to sometimes a project has gone so far astray that you just need to annihilate it, and that is what cosmic powers like Shargash are for.
Shargash is basically the waste bin of the world machine.
Trash compactor, sure, yeah. Incinerator, all of those
Yep.
things.
Yeah, for the disposal of that which is broken.
Yep.
Shargash would probably love a Gatling gun. You should give him one.
Yeah, you should give
Oh,
him
he
one.
would. He would adore a Gatling
He
gun.
would. So,
Or a grenade launcher.
as Yamalio approaches Slan, he will asks to congratulate Slan on taking care of that spirit, because I'm pretty sure it's pretty clear to see that has been done and going on, and remark that Slan has now fought alongside him as a comrade. Do true Mustali bleed or sweat?
Nope, they're made of metal and stone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Flesh is purely a concession they had to make when they made the clay Mustali.
Oh, jeez. I'm not sure how to transfer the skill. The bodies that they inhabit, Talak and Surma, are bound, but that I don't know if that would confer to Yamalio and Slan. Would it? Would there be a way to do that?
What do you mean?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, like Surma and Talak are this weird kind of pseudo engaged. But that's on Surma's end of things. I don't know where Talak stands on that. But with that relationship of even if that wasn't the case, Surma views Talak as one of her companions. When she rolls with her love for the group, it includes Talak. That would be somebody Surma cares enough about that Shargash wouldn't strike Talak. Would that confer to Slan?
No, you said kin. No, Slan isn't kin.
I said kin or friends or close confidants and loved ones. Beloveds, things like that.
I still don't know if that would transfer to.
Yeah, that would be
Yalmalia
true
and
of Talak in the God time. It would not be true of Slan. Well, that would be true of Talak in the Middle World. That would not be true of Yalmalio and Slan in the God time.
So I have
Slan
If you
has
try
no
to claim
particular
Slan
relation.
as Yalmalio's beloved, that would be going against Yalmalio's myths,
Yeah.
because Yalmalio has no established strong relationship with Mustali at all,
Well, I'm
and
about
that
to
could create
one.
its own paradox ripples.
Yeah, I'm about to create one. Maybe not beloved, because I'm not sure what Slan is different than Talak. but a comrade in arms, a sibling in arms. So here we go. I'm now going to do some heresy here with Slan.
What are you going to roll before you do it?
I'm going to. I was hoping to actually use that crit as an augment or something, or get some kind of reward for it beyond this, but we'll see what happens. But
that had to do with Emperor Licarius.
I can do this. I guess this will be another cult lore to know what kind of ritual I can do, and I will augment it with my insight Mustali.
Jenner, first, please tell me what you're trying to do.
I'm trying to bond Slan to Yamalio as a comrade in arms, as a blood brother, like as a battle brother.
You're trying to establish a bond with Slan that will be recognized by Shargash.
Yes, that.
What skill do you want to use?
I will probably be using I guess orate again, or I was actually thinking about using custom Sable Rider.
No, because the Sable Riders don't exist at this point.
Okay. Worship Yamalio?
That could work.
Okay. I could also use Worship Flint Nail, and we could make this a Flint Nail thing, but that roll would be abysmal.
Yeah, and you'd have to spend a bunch of MP.
Yep.
And I would say you don't know enough about you don't have enough cult lore Flint Nail to do that with Worship Flint Nail.
Yeah.
But you could. But establishing someone as a battle companion is pretty Yamalio. So yes, you don't have time for any ritual prep.
Yep.
This just has to be a worship roll, though, and it's not a prayer to the god. Exactly. Well, no. I'll say if you want to spend MP to do this, you have to spend 2 MP to make it a magically charged worship roll. If you want to increase the your chance by spending more MP, you can, but the minimum's 2 MP.
And it's 2. How much per MP for spend? Just out of
1 per plus 10%.
So I have to spell it. I have to spell.
Yeah, 2 minimum, then 3 to get a plus 10, 4 to get a plus 20, etc.
Okay. I mean, I already have a over 100 chance, but I want to try and get another crit because I'm crazy. But I'll just spend 1 more MP to make set my MP at 10, from originally 14, because I have to cast that other spell and make this a 113 roll. Special success.
Okay, yes. Slan will be considered protected by by Licarius's edict should Shargash show up.
I want to make.
So what does this? Yeah. How does this play out in the scene? Like, what sort of ritual is this?
So, I guess it will be. I was gonna basically cut Yamalio's palm and cut Slan's palm and fasten hands together and make them blood brothers. But
Slan doesn't have blood.
Slan doesn't have blood, so what?
That kind of thing is a little too dirty for solar gods.
So what would Slan like? What can we do here, Zeal? Like, and also like in a Mustali way, like how can we make this a pact between the two of them that can be mutually exchanged? Since Mustali don't bleed and it's kind of dirty, a knighting ceremony maybe? Yeah. We could we could paint on each other. That's a good idea.
Binding. Well, Yamalio style, like connections and initiations are all about sharing and mutually beholding the light.
Yeah.
Or acknowledging that the light falls equally on
both parties.
Well, is equally open to everyone, as long as they're willing to follow the rules.
I have exactly what I will say to them, because it was a conversation I wanted to have with Talik and character anyway. So to do this, Surma, through as Yamalio, we'll explain to them, and I'll make it a longer scene later, that even though deep under the earth, the dwarves may never behold the sun or the sky, it still hangs above them, and we still share the same sky. We are bound under the same sky, sharing the same stars.
We share the same universe.
Yes.
We both dwell under the same sky dome, and we both dwell on the same Earth.
And one day, Surma would like to come below ground to experience Talak's world, since they came up here to hers to see what she hasn't seen yet. Since they share the same sky, they share the same Earth.
Yeah. That doesn't make any sense to Slon right now because Slon cannot contextualize this. Talak is stuck pretty deep in the Slon persona.
Yeah. This is a different sun. This is the sun that my headcanon. So yeah, there we go. I'll make it. Surma will actually have a longer talk with Talak when we have more time. But there we go. Now we can get this shit started. Let's see these.
All right.
Let's see these stormfuckers come to us.
Well,
Very quiet, Zeal.
To go back to what Potov made a part of his crit earlier, which is that the handing off of the red sword was visible to the Storm Tribe. Let me explain the situation to the north of you. The Storm Tribe's scouts are, at least those you can see without a roll, are in the sky. Like I said last time, they've got flying guys. It's a pretty standard Storm thing, and it's a lot easier for them to do in the God time than it will be within time itself. They also have particularly Desero's own clan are riders of bulls and storm bulls, sky bulls rather. The big winged ones, like the ones you saw within time on the way out to the place where the rock speaks. And so it was distant specks against the sky in the middle air, floating high above, watching the camp, that saw the ceremony that distributed the sword and the appearance of the Artmali ancestors. So they know full well that there is another Artmali emperor. Additionally, no one needs a roll to hear from far off in the north, echoing over the plains and hills of Pamaltella, the deep, soulful mourning songs and cries of the Storm people. They are deep in funeral procedures for the chieftains and warriors you killed in your ambush. You can see pyres burning afar off where the leaders of where the leaders you killed are being burned in Orlanthi fashion so that their remains are carried off by the wind. Which is ironically also how the Dara Happans dispose of their emperors, but let's not get into that.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Storm Tribe is not mustering immediately to counterattack because they have to perform the obsequies for their dead, now that death is a thing that is rampant in the cosmos. Which gives you we only have about 20 minutes left before we need to close early today. But it gives you a brief opening to deal with something else. That spirit of discord that was in the camp was not sent by the Storm people. It was sent by the Videli. Well, so far as dancing and the Orlanthi are mourning. Do you want to look into that or do anything about it?
Yeah, we probably should. I don't know how we would go about it, though. I think Cacti was wanting to become a shaman, so this might be the thing that she pursues.
Slon, you can roll either cult lore or int ×3 to know more about the context of the kingdom of Oabil, the Videli, and the Mastali at this point.
Okay, can I augment that?
Yes.
Okay, let's see what.
I think if Afidasa and Slon mentioned that the Videli sent this thing, Thotav is going to immediately take a leap of logic and assume this guy is his shadow, this Videli.
What would be a thing to augment this with? Knowledge.
Zune, please speak up.
What could I augment this with?
Any of Flintnail's runes, a passion towards Flintnail.
All right. In that case, I'll augment it with Earth.
Okay. A crit, plus 50.
So plus 50 to my int ×3 roll.
Nice. Wow, lots of crits this session.
Okay, a success. All right. Slon, you are aware that the Videli were the first thieves of the works of the Mastali. Their father, Vadel, approached as a friend, but he was only interested in exploiting the Mastali, not in working honestly with them. Vadel is gone, but his offspring and heirs have continued to act in his way. They continue to exploit the things they learned from the Videli and that they have stolen from other people, and that they have worked out themselves from the things they've stolen, in order to do pretty, non-Mastali would say pretty horrible things. Mastali would say pretty disruptive things in the world. They use their command of sorcery to manipulate the powers of chaos, as well as other powers. They
learn how to make soul gems and soul traps.
Yeah, basically. They know how to...
Stole that from Mostal.
Yeah. They stole how to create... how to bind spirits to things from the Mastali as well, and they bind terrible spirits to things. They sent their minions and slaves to bedevil your sea trip down to aid the Artmali. So there's precedent that they are interfering with this even before they sent this spirit. And the Mastali are well aware that the Videli, wherever possible, prefer to let other people do the toiling and dying for them. And so if they were trying to stir up discontent in the camp of the Artmali, they have probably been doing other things related to this conflict.
Might be prudent to search for signs of further Vidali interference, since this spirit is unlikely to be their only measure.
Scan or search using Earth Sense?
Wouldn't it also be prudent to figure out what they wanted to take advantage of? Because chances are, if they're trying to take advantage of the Artmali, and they didn't have anything to offer, maybe they're just trying to disrupt both the Artmali and the Orlanthi, so maybe the Orlanthi also have something that's happened to them already.
Videli always want slaves. This is a battlefield, good place to get them.
Yeah, so I'd like to just look for further signs of possible Videli interference.
How do you want to do that?
I suppose I could just take a good look around the camp with Earth Sense.
Well, Earth Sense only senses what's going on, through the Earth. It wouldn't sense immaterial things.
Yes.
How to do is Soul Sight a spell that can be cast on someone else, or is it a personal spell? Let me look it up.
Let me look at the spell.
Yeah, let me look it up.
Because it is common rune magic.
It's
Most of you
common
can
rune-
cast it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm looking for it. I don't know if Talak can, but yeah. So allow us to target. There we go. Allow us to target, so it can be cast on someone else. Is it a spell that Talak has access to? Is a common spirit spell?
Yes. Flint Nail's cult has the common spirit magic, the common rune magic list.
All right. So you.
Yeah, in that case, I'd probably just use Soul Sight on myself to calibrate my senses.
Yep, that's that can be cast with any of your cult's runes, which is Earth or Stasis.
I got the screenshot of Soul Sight for you.
Can I augment rune rolls for
Yes, but
rune
usually
magic?
only with a restricted list of skills, mostly just sing and dance, though sometimes play instrument. Or other things that could be justified, or passions. Passions can usually, if they're applicable, they can usually be used for magic.
I think I'm going to use a passion that I've had on my sheet since character creation, but that I've never used before, which is why it's stuck at 60. That is, my passion hate chaos.
The Videli do manipulate chaos. That would work.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. That was a fail, but not a fumble, so the rune point isn't expended. You can try it again.
That was just the augment.
Oh, that was the augment. So yes.
Yeah.
Try the rune. A special. So you don't. You still have to spend one rune point to cast it, but it goes off. I'm going to be AFK for a moment. I'll be back.
All right. Cool.
So I have successfully calibrated my
You did it.
senses.
Yep.
I don't have
I want to befriend this hawk. I want to see if I can get it as a spirit companion. We can make it.
The hawk is already gone. It went and
Yeah.
ate or attacked the air spirits.
It can come back.
I don't think it's gonna be around unless Seal says, "Oh yeah, it's still around." But I'm pretty sure it was lucky that it wasn't nearby, so I could use Command Hawk and then use Silent Sphere on it and send it off to, pretty easily dispatch air spirits. And it only did that because it also, it likes eating spirits.
Well, Zeal's the GM, not me, but hawks aren't just predators; they're also scavengers. And post-war,
this isn't a regular hawk, though.
Yeah, still post-war, lots of bodies to eat the guts of. But I'm not the GM.
Yeah, I don't
the
think
hawk might want to stick around, but I'm not the GM.
I could open up the bestiary, but I don't believe that the rock hawk is a scavenger or carrion eater. That's the word I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
And I do have time, so let's open it up.
Yeah, how's it going, Halamalau? Look at that bestiary. How's it going, my niece? That was a badass speech about the sword you did there. High five.
Zeal.
I'm back.
This has a very low percentage, so I want to do it because it's also very stupid.
I love it.
Okay, can I use Illumination augmented by Moon to determine if this Videli sorcerer is my shadow, and therefore locate him inside my soul?
Yes.
What?
Don't worry about it.
No, that all made sense to me. Yeah, go for it.
No, I know it made sense to you. I'm just
LMAO.
confused myself.
Okay. All right.
Total
Oh, you
success, baby! 31.
put a check in illumination.
You're doing it, buddy.
All right. That was only normal, not special or critical, so I have to meter how I respond to this very carefully. All right. The Videli who sent that spirit, you're able to sense through your illumination by reading between the lines of the myth, figuratively speaking, ironically. He's not your shadow, but it is a he, and they are the shadow of someone in the group.
Ah.
The shadow,
Well.
the true self. It's persona time. Now, Slan got that special success with. So, what do they see, or what do they get?
Well, the special success just means that they cast it.
Yeah.
If it'd been a crit, they'd cast it without having to spend a rune
Got it.
point.
But with the soul
But
sight, yeah.
Soul Sight, yeah. With Soul Sight, Afidasa swept the camp with a similar power last session. With this casting, Slan, you're able to determine that there aren't other Videli spirits lurking within the camp. And Soulsight has a range limit, but this is the god time. Things are a little different and a little hazier. And you did get
Non-Euclidean geometry.
yeah, and it's a special. So I'll say that you're able to perceive the energetic disruptions caused by the passage of a spirit of discord. The sensation is a little as though you're able to read all the elements with your earth sense. You're able to sort of feel the air, feel the fall of light towards the earth, and you're able to detect in that way the disruptions created by a discord entity flowing through and among the elemental manifestations. You're able to see the path that the discord spirit made within the camp. But more importantly, when you turn your senses outward, you're able to see other similar paths. Paths trailing into the many camps of the Storm Tribe to the north. Not just those made by the spirit you and Afidasa sent after them, though you can detect that it did go and make some turmoil and then was dispatched by the spirit warriors of the Orlanthi themselves. But there are other entities, or at least there are other influences, active on and among the Orlanthi that have also been sent by Oabil, that the Orlanthi have not detected, but that you now have.
So it seems the Videli are tormenting the Orlanthi as well as the Artmali.
We have a common enemy.
Potov just rolled Illumination, so can he speak as Potov for a bit with no consequences whatsoever?
Yeah, it's also the end of the session. Hold forth.
Okay, everyone, allow me to apply my trade for a second. As you all have souls, I believe.
Last I checked.
No, you have a soul, Surma. And that soul exists within a manifold of all possible states of being, for in order to define what is, we must also define what is not. You follow me?
Sure.
Okay, so there is a portion of the soul called the shadow that is what you are not. And I believe that this Videli that has been vexing us for some time, since the Zola fell, is one of your shadows.
Me. Great. Good.
I'm leaning towards Talek, but
Oh, Talak. Okay, cool.
So
I don't think
this
that's
Vidali is sort of an inverse Talak.
unless you think it's an inverse Surma. But I'm leaning towards Talek at the moment.
We shall have to study this matter further. I will fully admit that it is not within the area of my expertise. I am inclined to trust your judgment on this, Podov.
Hey, Seal.
Mm-hmm.
Before we end the session, now that I know about this, can I, despite not being able to see that person, declare them an enemy of justice?
This is gonna roll. Let's find out who they are. Let's see.
I will
who's still
say
living.
that that's a tactic you should consider for next time.
Mhm.
Oh.
You need to know better who the target will be, because you have to pronounce them as an enemy of justice, right?
Okay, so just knowing they exist does not work. Okay.
Yeah. I pronounce...
You know that there is someone who is an enemy of justice that sent that spirit. You don't know
I
who it
pronounce
is
somebody
yet.
an enemy, but I don't know who, but I pronounce them. Yeah,
And it's part of one of you. It could even be part of you. But not me.
You. It could be me. It could even be...
Potov's the only one you can trust here.
It's Ferio.
Mario doesn't have a soul.
Mario isn't here anyway.
Yeah,
Our mounts aren't here
actually-
yet.
Actually, he is. I'm just not sure what he'd manifest
Well,
as.
the mounts are here when and if you need
Yeah.
them. The god time is kind of hand-wavy about these
Mm-hmm.
things. There's always a certain amount of attendants and followers of the gods in the background, but they only take center stage if something shifts them into center stage.
What's probably miserable
What-
for Surma's the fact that Ferio is probably a horse, because
What-
pure horse people are descendants of Yelm. It's a thing. Yeah. Anyway.
His horns are gold now, though.
Yeah.
Would
Well, they're
would
the,
Potovs-
they're the descendants of the Nivorans, and
Yeah.
who knows where the Nivorans got their start.
Would Potov's illuminated sense be able to detect the shadows of characters that are hand wavy here but not here?
I did detect that he was the Shadow. We could do some soul searching next session.
Yep.
Maybe.
Yeah, no,
We'll have
but
to
what
do
I'm wondering
some
is that
insight
if the mounts are here if we need them, would those also be included in the shadows that you detect, that you could have detected?
Unawakened animals don't have souls.
Yeah.
Oh well, then there you go.
Yeah. No.
It cannot be Ferio's shadow.
If they start talking, then they probably do have a soul, but that's a whole other kettle of fish.
So this Vidali is not Big Bird's evil
I
doppelganger.
wanted to fight. Big
There
Bird.
are yellow Videli, but presumably no.
Yeah.
Not in this case.
All right.
Big Bird's evil twin, Small Bird.
If there is a story beat we can end on, and then we can chatter a little bit for about 10 minutes
Um,
before we have to run off.
Well, let me say this. You've determined that the Videli are manipulating both sides of this. What do you plan to do about that?
I'm gonna do a search or a scan augmented with insight drama to try and pinpoint who they are. And I can cast Farsi to trace the entire battlefield to do this. If
I'd
that's-
rather not waste a rune point doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
I'm actually...
Farsi
really
is just spirit
conflicted.
magic. That only
Yeah.
casts
Farsi.
takes
Oh,
MP.
okay.
Farsi is just MP.
Yeah.
I thought that this cat's eye was a rune.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll allow that.
I'll
POW
just-
times 5 to cast. Well, it's a non-combat situation and it's spirit magic. Spend the MP and
Yep.
we'll assume you cast
It's
Farsi.
done. Yep. And here we go. So.
And roll scan.
Yep. Here we go. Well. All right. So it'll be. Yep. And I'm well. Let me try to do the augment first because I'm specifically scanning with something in mind. So let me try this.
In this case, the best augment would be truth.
Yep, truth would be the best augment. So let me do that. This will be. I hope. Okay, there we go. Oh, okay. Well, that's good because I didn't want to upgrade. I didn't want to tick my truth anyway. Regardless, scan. Here we go. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, my
Okay,
scan's
a normal
actually really good,
success.
folks.
And and again, like with Soulsight, Farsi has its limitations in the middle world. The limitations are a little different in the God Time. So Yalmalio calls on their ability to see as far as they need to see, and is able to peer directly across to sweep their gaze across the hills of Pamaltella with their clover and ferns, no grass in sight, and perceive far to the northeast the angular, carefully assembled structures of the kingdom of Oabil, the citadels and cities and grid pattern roads and slave encampments of one of the nastier places in the Storm Age, to be perfectly honest. The Pamaltellans call them the Skinners, and not just because they skin animals.
I understood that. As somebody who studied psychology. Do go on.
And your gaze alights on a tower that commands one of these, a Cyclopean tower that rises above one of these carefully ordered settlements of stone buildings. And from the crown of that tower, from behind veils of glamour and shadow and glass, you are briefly able to look past and see someone looking back at you. A man enthroned, with bright banana yellow skin and matching saffron robes and burning eyes behind an iron mask. The figure lashes back at the intrusion of your attention. Give me a spirit combat roll, Surma.
Oh, sure. Can I augment this with anything? I'm gonna augment it with Moon.
Moon would make sense.
Yep. Here we go. Hey, y'all. Check how happy I am with my Moon rune that I'm gonna fail. I did succeed though. That's awesome. It's not gonna be 69 anymore, folks. All right. Here goes my spirit combat.
I mean, you could fail the level up.
I could.
They could stay. Yeah.
Spirit combat. Surma's actually really good. Oh wow. Yeah.
I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a good spirit combat, even though I have.
Damn it! But if Afadasa was here, she could do it for the same. But yeah, it's a fail. So fuck me.
No, that's an auto fail.
Yeah.
No matter who's there.
Well, no, Afadasa could use her once per scene power.
That's only on a fumble.
Oh, on a fumble. That's right. Wow, dice.
You take 6 MP damage.
Okay. Well, it didn't drain complete. All
as your farsight is rebuked and your perspective shifts back to yourself.
Yep. I mean, I figured hubris would hit me by being able to get that to 100, but yeah.
But yes, you've seen that. You've seen that the hidden hand behind the Videli interference is a Videli of the yellow caste, which we'll explore next time.
Yep.
But it has very particular connotations.
Yep, I will.
And now
he knows
that you know,
Mm-hmm.
if you know what I mean.
Yep. So we'll pause
But
here.
that seems
with
like a
the
good,
general
yeah, that
rolling
seems like a
dice.
good cliffhanger for next time.
Yep.
So everybody do your XP checks if you got XP, if you got checks and things.
Anyone want to meditate with Photov? See if they can sense themselves nearby
Yeah,
in the
sure.
shape of a Westerner.
I can do a meditate roll. But we'll do that off thing. I'm gonna stop the recording now. Bye, everybody.